Welcome, everyone. We're going to wait about a minute to allow attendees to join the webinar today. Okay, I think we can get started. Hello, my name is Anna, and it's my pleasure as the Assistant Director of Constituent Relations to welcome you all to this 49er Industry Chat. Before we start, we just like to inform you that this session is being recorded and it will be available on demand at our website at csulb.edu/alumni. Once it's posted, feel free to share it with your friends, network, fellow alumni, or someone that you know that may benefit from this chat. We also encourage you to utilize the Q&A if you'd like to submit a question for our guest speaker. And my colleague Rosalinda will be moderating the chat during this webinar. And now I would like to introduce our alumni host, Mudassir Iqbal. Welcome. I'll start off by reading your bio before we jump in. So Mudassir was raised in Silicon Valley, California. He brings an innovation-driven mindset from the heart of tech. He earned his undergraduate degree in electrical engineering and worked at Siemens before completing his master's in science in electrical engineering at Cal State Long Beach in 1999. His career spans tech companies including Alcatel, Cisco Systems, and NCR, working across diverse roles from engineering to VP level in sales, product management to software development. He holds prestigious certifications, including CCIE and CISSP, with extensive international experience across the United States, Europe, UK, Africa, Asia, and more. Since 2018, he's been based in Dubai, and he currently works as an AI business strategy consultant, helping local and international clients navigate their AI transformations. He recently received certifications in AWS AI Practitioner and AWS Cloud Practitioner. Originally starting his journey in electrical engineering domain, he has since moved on to the AI and digital marketing domain in order to stay successful in this competitive era. Mudassir, thank you so much for being here today and welcome. Please feel free to say hello and introduce yourself in any area I may have missed.
Thank you, Anna. Good morning. And you have done a great job in this introduction. Let me just say one thing, since you have invited me in this sweet November chat. So as I always say about the November, so November, that's all I want to know. That's all I know, and that's all I ever want to know. So that's the starting message from my side. So please go ahead. You can jump into the meat of that discussion.
Wonderful. Okay, so just again, as a reminder, Rosalinda, our moderator, will be checking the chat. So as we start this Q&A session, if there are questions you would like Mudassir to help touch upon, please feel free to drop them down in there, and then we'll make sure to try to get to them during our Q&A. So we can first jump in and start off with, tell us a little bit about your background and tell me a little bit about your experiences and what led you to get your master's at Cal State Long Beach.
Thank you, Anna. Let me, as you rightly said in the introduction, Para, that before even joining Cal State Long Beach, I had the undergrad degree in electrical engineering, and I was already working at the Siemens. It's a German company, and if you remember, we are talking about 1995, 96, 97 timeframe when internet was a new thing. So at that point in time, I mean, the big motors, transformers, generators, I mean, they were the big things actually. So I was working in some of those things. In fact, I was working as a single phase induction motor sales engineer in Siemens. And even at that time, I was doing a lot of travel. In fact, it's funny that my air miles are more than my car miles. So,
Wow.
Or my railway miles in Europe. If you're talking about the Europe, then my railway miles are more than the car miles. So even at that time, I was, doing a lot of travel and then focusing, as you rightly said in the beginning as well, that pure electrical engineer working on the induction motors and transformers and all that fun stuff. Then, at that time, I told you that it was the beginning of internet. Internet became commercially available sometime in 1990s. I mean, if you remember, or you may or may not, or some of the guys who are on the bridge, I mean, they may remember there was a dial-up service by the name America Online. So
Probably before me.
yeah, in fact, there's a movie from Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan on that one by the name, and the movie name is You Got Mail. So it's exactly on that topic that they subscribe to that one, and then so on and so forth. So long story short, internet was in its, I mean, as I said, in its nascent stage, and I mean, everybody was talking about the internet and so on and so forth. So interestingly, actually, the program which Cal State Long Beach was offering, that was kind of related to that one. When I'm using the word relate, because at that time, I mean, even the other campuses, they don't have the specific internet working related programs. I mean, people were getting the degree in computer science, or people were getting the degree in electrical engineering or electronic engineering, and they were switching their major into these other minor derivatives or whatever. And another interesting thing, actually, I want to mention here, right now, I mean, AT&T is all over the place in Southern Cal and Northern Cal. At that time, there was a company by the name LA Cellular. And Cal State Long Beach Electrical Engineering Computer, they had a very good collaboration with these guys. They were doing a lot of research work and all that thing. So anyway, back to that one. So I did a lot of research, and then some of my peers, and in fact, mentors or seniors, they were already in this program. And then, I mean, they were doing a lot of amazing good things with the LA Cellular. So I thought, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try. And remember one thing, as I said, that we didn't have the luxury of this WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat. So, so we used to send a letter to the Cal State, and then they used to send back the letter. So that's how it used to work. So finally, it all worked out, and I was the part of their fall semester in 1997.
Oh, wow, amazing!
I had, yeah. So these are some of those details.
A lot of the early work happening during that time. So that sounds very
That's why I
exciting.
use the term. Yeah, that's why I use the term. In fact, the subject of this chat is the way we are changing, or I'm the part of that team that have changed the way we live, work, play, and learn. So that was one of the slogan at that point in time, that because everything was changing. As I said, I mean, those paper application and all that, it's not there anymore. It's being changed.
Right.
So
yes,
I consider myself to be lucky enough that I'm the part of that
yeah,
era.
one of the
And now
pioneers.
it's the AI. So again, I mean, trying to catch this wave as well. And maybe tomorrow I'll be the part of that team who's going to Mars. So who knows that?
Always adapting in your career journey. Yes, love that. And then can you explain, like, so what was your student experience like during that time while you were getting your master's at Cal State Long Beach?
Okay, very interesting. If you want me to just summarize in one line, I mean, although busy schedule and everything, but it was a blast, and I had the time of my life.
Oh,
Let's make
amazing.
it
Were you in
simple.
any clubs, or did you
I'm
participate in
coming to
activities?
that one. So what's happening, since I mean, when you are in the master's program, it's very different from the undergrad program, as you know that. You are to complete the degree, you are supposed to take the 500 and 600 level courses, and then sometime they offer some of the filler courses or non-core courses, whatever you say, 400 level courses. So that's why it's not that, I mean, if you come in the morning, you'll be done by afternoon or evening. I mean, you have to stay till the late evening. I mean, I still remember some of my classes used to be in the first part of the day, and the last class used to get finished by 10 o'clock in the evening. So,
long
so
school days.
You are in the campus pretty much the whole day. And then in terms of the activities, let me just share some of my experiences with the computer lab, because I used to work in the computer lab as a teaching assistant, you can say that.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. So what happens, I mean, as I was talking to you guys offline, that when I visited in April, I went to the computer lab downstairs in that main building, and everybody's having his or her laptop, desktop, or handheld devices over. At that point in time, we used to have big machines just sitting on the desk, and we used to run these Ethernet cables, miles and miles of cables just to connect
Oh
these
my goodness.
machines.
Wow.
And then, yeah, and then we were supposed to keep, so they were running in the Windows operating systems and the Mac. And then the student used to come and they used to download their emails in those machines. They didn't have their dedicated machines. I understand that. So, I mean, once somebody is done, you're going to unlog him or her and then log back and then load the Microsoft Word or Excel and help them in their assignments. And how you gonna do that? Then attaching it to
Especially at a large
their
university.
it's
Wow.
yeah, and at the same time, you're supposed to keep the software updated at that time as well. I mean, install the antivirus and that all what I'm trying to
Yes.
say. So it was a fun job. Yeah, Sharon, she used to be our supervisor from the Cal State side. So she was very helpful. She understood these nitty-gritty things and everything. So back to your question as I said, we used to be in the campus all day, starting, let's say, 7 in the morning till 10 in the evening. So I mean, doing the quizzes and assignment during the same time. And answer to that, there used to be again, we didn't explicitly participate in these things, but whenever we had the chance, for example, they at that point in time, there used to be a lot of musical concerts in the campus during the daytime. I don't know whether they do it now or not. So there used to be a Burger King over there. So we just used to grab the burger and the Coke, and then yes, we are with you. Go ahead.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, rock out
So,
during in between your break periods. Oh,
yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
and then job fair, kaleidoscope, and all that fun kind of thing. So we used to participate in that in some form or fashion, I should say that. And in fact, let me just tell you a funny story actually related to the campus. So they used to play the movies in the student union at that point in time. I don't know whether they do it now or not. I'm sure they must
Yes,
be.
yeah, the student union's under construction now.
Yeah. So what happens? I had two other guys in my class, and they were playing a movie in the student union, and we had a mathematics class in the evening, 7 to 10. And then they were playing the movie around the same time, starting at 6:30. So again, we didn't want to miss the class, and we didn't want to miss the movie either. So we did the rock, paper, scissors thing.
Oh my goodness.
And I ended up in the mathematics class, and these two guys, they ended up in the theater. So that's how. And the interesting thing, one of these guys, he's the vice president in Oracle Cloud for the EMEA
Oh
region.
wow.
And the other guy, he is still in Cisco Systems for last 20 plus years, and he's worked out of the Midwest, I mean, from Texas, and taking care of the AI and cloud for the US Midwest. Perhaps I should have watched the movie as well.
Yes. Maybe we don't want to explain that to any students on, skip their classes to risk that. But
Anyway,
yes, that's a
that's
great
how
story.
that's how it used to be actually. So just to address your
Wow.
uh,
Yeah, it sounds like you had a wonderful time while you were at Cal State Long Beach.
it's funny actually, Anna. I'm just telling you one thing because sometimes some of these things are blessing in disguise since we didn't have
Mm-hmm.
those sophisticated communication equipment. So we used to walk there to talk to someone, even it's a good discussion or a bad discussion.
Yes.
So you are going meeting in person, this and that. So that's why we used to meet a lot of people in the campus all
Mm-hmm.
the time. So
Oh
anyway.
yeah, one of the benefits. Okay, well, thank you for that. And so for the next question is, what made you want to pursue a career in the artificial intelligence industry? Was it more of an intentional journey, or did you kind of more so fall into it?
Okay, here's the thing, actually, let me just step back on this one. I mean,
Hmm.
because AI by itself, as I mean, we were discussing earlier as well on that one, that we cannot take this thing in an atomic fashion because AI is the sequel of the last technology that we had. Let me put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So if I talk about the AI, essentially, if you break it down, or if what you say that demystify the AI, if you break it down, make it simple, essentially, we can say that it's kind of a sequel, just for the sake of discussion, sequel of the Python programming, you can say that, or R programming, or PyTorch, or I mean, all these kind of fun things. So what's happening? Answer to your question is, so I had been working in these technologies for a very for an extended period of time, I should say that. I mean, as you mentioned in the introduction, that I started with the pure electrical engineering, then into the voice technology, then into the cybersecurity, then into the data center, then into the cloud, then into the AI. So if you look at that again, cloud is kind of an extension or the next phase of the data center. AI is the next phase of the cloud or whatever you want to call that. So again, explicitly addressing that question, I had been doing some of these things for a very long time in terms of the automation, in terms of the programming and stuff of the software development. And then they packaged it into a new thing by the name AI, where we are talking about the predictive analysis. We can go into some of these details without going into too many techie things.
Yes.
But yeah, so answer to your question is that it's kind of, and then maybe the next would be whatever next technology we would see, that would be the next phase of the AI. For example, this autonomous cars and all that, genetic AI kind of thing. So that's not, and again, we cannot look at that thing in a standalone mode. It's the next phase of this one. So I had been working, and now I'm in. Everybody's talking about that. So let's work on that one.
And then we just got a question in the chat, which I guess kind of ties in. You know, you've had to learn a lot of these different phases, which now have led you into the AI. So can you describe a moment when you realize you might have had to unlearn something significant in order to move forward in your career?
That's true. Thank you for that one. That's a very interesting question, actually, because I think you mentioned that thing in the poster as well, that it's all about in today's era. Okay, if I try to write that, I mean, I used to do the single phase induction motor, let's say 35 years back or so and so, and it's not going to work in today's world. Yeah, good for you if you were doing that thing. So it means, I mean, I have to, if I want to be relevant, I have to update myself accordingly. So that's why this philosophy of learn, unlearn, and then relearn. So that's the concept of that. So again, I mean, I started with that, but then I realized, no, when I joined the Alcatel, that French company, then it was all about the voice. I remember we talked about this company, LA Cellular, which had a very close collaboration with the Cal State. So at that point in time, I mean, 95, 96, 97, that was all about the voice technology. So I should not say I literally learn it, but yes, I mean, let's learn time to park that thing and then go to the new thing and then work on those new things and spend cycles on that one. So that's why it's learn, unlearn, relearn, then cybersecurity. Then, and again, let me just tell you a funny thing. We'll get the question and then we can touch base on that one. Even when we talk about the AI, I mean, there is a huge, humongous amount of data. The cybersecurity automatically comes into the picture. We have to protect that data. So whether we say that explicitly or not, but it's there at the back end, because data has to be protected when you are storing it. Data has to be protected when it's moving. In fact, if you talk about the regulations, if you talk about the, like, say, credit cards and all that, we are talking about the PCI compliance. I'm sure you must have heard about that. If we go into the medical side of the house, HIPAA compliance. So all those things are still applicable in the AI side of the house. So yes, unlearn, but not truly unlearn.
They are so practice those security measures. Yes.
Yeah, it's there. You cannot I mean, detach these things. They will always be together. So the guys who were just focusing on the security side, I mean, of course, they are still relevant in the AI era. So I hope I answered that question, the one where they asked the philosophy of learn, unlearn, and then relearn.
Yes, yes. And so the next question we have is, what has been one of the more challenging parts of this job that you have? And then do you have some that are the most rewarding as well when you go through this process?
Very nice. Maybe you want to bring that picture on if...
yes.
Yeah,
Rosalind, if you're able to share the slide.
That will make discussion more interesting for everyone. So there are two ways to answer that one. So it's one of the slides, actually, if the guys can see the slide.
Yeah, we have the slide posted right now.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I can see that. So the question was that most rewarding part and the most challenging part. So I normally, whenever I go for the workshop as the part of my consulting job, consulting business, whatever you say, so I normally present this slide in the beginning. Why do I say that? Because if you look at that one, again, I'm not here, but there's a term that death by the PowerPoint. So there is no such plan today for that one. You will just look at some of the salient line items in that one. So if you look at the first, the box, which is on the left-hand side, top side, it says how the customer explained the problem. And if you look at the right bottom slide, I'm just skipping all of them. We can go that one. That's essentially he was looking for. So even customer sometimes doesn't explain what exactly he needs.
Mm-hmm.
He said that I need something hanging from the tree, and then I want to sit on that one, and then I want to do something. So the guy who was there, he drew it like that there has to be like two pieces of ropes and then multiple, the wooden planks, and then they should be connected like that. But that's not what he was looking for. He was just looking for a simple rope with a tie, and then he just wanted to enjoy that. So point is that, and again, I mean, if you look at the other slides, they are more interesting that how project leader understood it, how they designed it, how they documented it. Documented is the most funniest one because you see there is no documentation. How are you going to use that one? So that's the real picture actually. In most of the cases, that's the real picture. So answer to your question, what's the most rewarding part and what's the most challenging part? So the most challenging part, it's like double-edged sword. I mean, it's the most challenging part, but if I address that one, while I mean, they say, yeah, that's what we were looking for. Yes, let's work on that. So that's the most rewarding part that I nailed it. I narrowed it down. But that's exactly what he's looking for. And then we can work on that one accordingly rather than, I mean, all over the place. So that's one of the key challenge actually in the technology side of the house that you need to get to the meat of that one because let me just tell you from the another perspective. We just talk about the HIPAA compliance. We just talk about the PCI compliance. Again, without going into too many nitty-gritty details there. So if we are working with a customer who is more on the medical sciences side or who is more on the financial side, then we need to consider those limitations or whatever you want to call that one before we present a solution to that. Yeah, and you are asking for that one, but remember, you have the HIPAA compliance. It means we have to segregate the data. So yeah, that's what we are looking for. Okay, so now we'll design the solution according to what you are looking for. So this is one of the things. And then this back to this one, if I extend that question, this philosophy is valid for anything and everything means we used to use that one in the days of our data centers. When we used to do the data center, then the cloud, and even in the AI, exactly the same thing, what you are looking for. What you are looking for means, I mean, when they, again, I'm trying to keep it simple, that if you are designing or if you are designing an AI solution for them, specifically for that vertical, we should know the pros and cons for so that we can explain it to them that this solution can do these things for you, and these are the guardrails for you, and this is something that it is not covered in that one.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah.
so the rewarding and challenging, and then another piece that is linked with that one. Let me just tell you that one. I mean, so there is a what we call a triangular thing, and what we call on the top of that triangle we put technology, and on one side we put the processes, and on the other side we put the people. So it's technology, people, and process. You won't believe that technology is the easiest piece in this whole discussion. Why it's the easiest piece? If you have the funds available, if you have the budget approved, if you have all the paperwork done, technology can be procured immediately. And whatever the time period is, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, whatever. But the most challenging piece, people and the process. Because if they are not ready for whatever reason, then the project will fail. And that's what we have seen in most of the project. It was not because of the technology, but because mostly about the people and the processes. Because let's say if the process has been designed based on what they had, the tools that they had at that point in time. So if we are changing the tools, then we need to change the processes as well. We don't need maybe that many processes. We need to cut them short. And secondly, the people. People, when I say the people, because there is a what you call, there is a learning curve piece. You need to
Yes. Yes.
again, my own philosophy that
Learn,
learn,
unlearn.
unlearn,
Yes.
relearn. So if now you're not ready for that one, it would be very
Yes. Can you
difficult to
catch up
embrace any new
with all the
technology.
changes? Yeah.
Yes, because now let's say, as I said, if I take my own example and I say the single phase induction motor, I mean, in the AI world, it's difficult to fit that thing here. So I hope that I'm answering that question.
No, yes. Yeah. The interesting part is just the people kind of slow it down in order to get you to that rewarding portion of it. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. So my next question is also kind of tied into one that we got in the Q&A, which is how do you stay updated with the latest tech, especially with it evolving constantly? And how do you differentiate it from the noise and maybe the unrelevant and what's actually relevant to focus on?
Very interesting question. So essentially, there are two pieces in this equation. The first
Hmm.
is that, I mean, how do you keep yourself focused and how do you kill the noise?
Hmm.
Because so uh, as a good leader, if you are in a leadership role, because I mean I do both. Sometime I'm in the individual contributor, sometime I'm managing the team and so on and so forth. So answer to this question is let's say if I'm expecting my team to learn something new. It goes for me as well, but there is a reason I'm talking about my team. So let's say if I want them, and I'll give you a very good example of Jack Welch, who was the CEO of General Electric. It's an interesting story about that one. So again, if you want them to learn something new, then they need to drop some of the old stuff from their plate before they
Hmm.
go for the newer one. So again, if I translate it into a tangible thing, for example, if there is a commodity business, if we are talking about, let's talk about the AI. AI is I mean, everybody's talking about the AI is I mean, hot topic and everything. I mean, people are getting decent compensation and everything. But tomorrow, as we were discussing earlier, that uh, there would be something different than AI, that the
Right.
next step of the AI, I mean, autonomous car and all that. So AI would become the commodity just to, again, it's not happening in next couple of years. Maybe it's going to take another 10 years to become a commodity. So at that point in time, I mean, yes, I know that. Let's not focus on that. Let's park that one and let me catch the new wave. I mean, we were talking about the Mars, going to the Mars. Maybe that's the next wave in next 10 years. So at that point in time, I'll probably park the AI or ask my team to park the AI and start focusing on the Mars. And then there is another team, let's say, now let's talk about the business side of the house. How does this thing work? How Silicon Valley works. Let me talk about that. Silicon Valley is famous for the innovation. So
Hmm.
what they do, they always work on the latest and greatest stuff. And they always push back the commoditized stuff to those markets which are still struggling. I mean, for them, it's more than enough for their needs. So they
Hmm.
push those commoditized items to those markets where, I mean, the business is affordable. I mean, from the top line growth and the bottom line growth, it makes more sense for the other markets to do the commoditized business and let the Silicon Valley to focus on the latest and greatest and the innovative items. So that's the answer to their question is the noise. So if they want to call it a noise, yeah. So I'm offloading myself, focusing on the new thing because I'm here. That's my core. That's my,
Hmm.
I mean, cliche, whatever you want to say that. So I hope that's going to be answered that question.
Okay, thank you for that. And do you see any shortfalls or possible risks when using AI as your normal and regular routine?
Again, let's talk about that one. The regulations, the
Hmm.
ethics. There's so many things. I mean, we are not here to talk about that one. But the reason I'm talking about that one, but let me just give you a very good working example of that one. Whenever we do the project for a lot of companies, we are supposed to explain, let's say, a routing solution or a switching solution or anything. So they want to know how this thing is. There is a document, people may call it differently, low-level design document, that how did you design this solution? You should know the bits and bytes of that because of the audit requirements. The auditors, they ask that if you have implemented this solution, I mean, how it's touching the other components and this and that. You know that. I mean, if you're talking about a big company, there are millions of systems working, and then they make sure that this is not going into the domain of the other one. So answer to this question is, in a way, whatever happens, sometime it happens, especially if you're talking about the startup, that's fine. I mean, they are in the gung-ho mode, and that's fine. But if you will go to a well-established organization and try to implement these things over there, these questions pop up immediately. How are you going to, what this solution is going to do for us, or how this is going to be doing for us? Let me just use a term here, deterministic and predictive. Again, as I said, my goal is to keep it simple. Deterministic, it means you know that 2, if you add 2 into 2 is equals to 4. Very, very simple. We know that. But predictive, whether it's going to be raining tomorrow or not, that's the predictive. So AI is all about the prediction. If you know that, I mean, before I answer your question, let's go to the Netflix. And then I'll come back to this question. So what Netflix is doing? Netflix is essentially trying to retain the customers and reduce the customer churn and all that. So it's looking at the different parameters to retain the customer. It's looking at your browsing history. It's looking at the movies that you have seen, and then the thumbnails, and you know that all that kind of fun stuff. And it predicts that you would the next movie which is going to be releasing, let's say at the Thanksgiving. We all love Thanksgiving. We know that. We just talk about that. Or the Christmas time. So based on your choices, it may recommend you that particular movie that you may like it. You should watch it, so on and so forth. So again, what Netflix is doing, it's doing the prediction. So back to this one, your question, the original question. Again, sometimes it's very difficult to explain these algorithms, that how it's predicting that particular output. What's the rationale behind that one? So these are some of the things that still need to be addressed, because AI is still in the very nascent stage. Things are happening. ChatGPT, you know that they have added a disclaimer in the ChatGPT. You should check your answer. ChatGPT might be wrong. That's the reason, actually, because
yes, it's so new and evolving.
So new that it's evolving. So I mean, there is a engineering term, false positive. So it may give you the false positive. So it's gonna what you call how should I say that? Chicago is famous for the windy thing. That it's a windy Chicago.
City, yes.
So it may say the same for SoCal. So because it's in the learning stage. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah. So I guess that kind of could also tie into our next question, which, so what are some common myths or misconceptions people may have on this type of industry?
You mean about the AI or?
With AI, yes.
Yeah, that's again, it's a lengthy debate. We need a separate session for that one. But just to make it simple for that, again, as I said, that it has got its own limitation, might not be the right word, but for example, if I am training my model software program, let's make it simple. If I am training my software program, let's say for the medicine or for the sports or whatever, so then it may work very well for the sports or medicine, whatever it has been trained for, but it may not work for the other verticals. There is no such thing as one size fits all. There is a concept of again, without going into too many details, large language model, natural language processing, all those things. There are so many bits and bytes of that one, but we have to be careful. What's our use cases? Use case is the key thing. What exactly do we want to do with that one? What's our use case? As I said, Netflix, their use case is to retain the customer.
Right.
To grow their business. That's what their use case is. So whatever they do at the back end, just to make sure that they can retain the customer, they don't lose that one. So that is there. Can we apply the same rules of engagement for Nike? May not work for them. So I hope that's what these guys are looking for. That, I mean, let's not make
a one size
blanket
fits all
judgment that one size fits all. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, good point. And one of our next questions again kind of ties into one that we got in the chat. So can you give some ideas on the best ways to find opportunities for folks or Cal State Long Beach alumni who are kind of just starting out in this
Very
career?
nice. Yeah,
How do they go about internships, networking, things like that?
very good. And I'll also touch base on the mentor and the mentee thing. We did talk about that one earlier, so
Yes.
maybe we'll spend a minute on that one. So back to your question about this one, the opportunity. Again, I mean, we are living in a blessed time. I mean, because there are so many opportunities at our fingertips. If I go into the details of that, as I talk about the Cal State Long Beach, the one that we had at that point in time, the professors and the department, they had very good collaboration with the industry.
Hmm.
So first thing is that work closely with your professors, with your lecturers. I mean, they work very closely with the one of our professor, Dr. Kumar. He used to work with NASA all the time. I mean, whenever we used to ask, so where are you, doctor, rest of this week after this class? I'm going to NASA to do some research work with them and so on and so forth. And then, I mean, he used to share some of these things with us as well. So point is that doesn't matter in which major you are, the professors are very well connected.
Hmm.
So, so they should be your first avenue to I mean, start your career accordingly. The next thing is that now if we look at the other opportunity that we have available on the internet, uh, again, one more thing, the good old days of COVID, that's over. I call it the
Hmm.
blessing in disguise because we had so much digitization in that one. So a lot of these conferences, I mean, AWS, they do their annual conference by the name reInvent, or maybe do twice a year. And there is special offer for the students that if you're a student, you can join that one. Similarly, Microsoft, Oracle, they all do these kind of thing. And especially in Northern Cal and Southern Cal, I mean, you will see these activities happening all the times. Then Cal State does the job fair as well. And believe
Great.
it or not, at that point in time, we used to get very good leads from those fairs. And I'm sure it must be bigger and better nowadays. Then internet, I mean, a lot of opportunities over there means it's the concept of the freelancing now. There are
Yes. Yeah.
a lot of universities are offering these courses, offering remote internships. So tons of avenues for that one. I mean, you only just need to tap the right thing and then world is yours. It's one of those things.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And getting your foot in the door, connecting with people, utilizing
Yes,
LinkedIn. We also have Beach Nexus, which is like
yes,
Cal State Long Beach versions of LinkedIn, to connect with fellow
exactly.
alumni in those industries. So yeah, very
Thank you
good
for that.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
great,
thank you for
great
that.
advice for our 49ers. So we're getting close to the end. Just to kind of wrap up, is there any other advice you would like to give our alumni or students who are trying to make a
Ye-
career transition in this
Yeah,
industry?
actually, in fact, we were talking about the mentor and the mentees. Let me just quickly make a
Yes.
point about the General Electric Jack Welch. Jack Welch joined General Electric in 1960, and then for the first 20 years, he worked as an engineer. He was the chemical engineer, and then from 1980 to 2000, he worked as the CEO. So he coined the term digital GE,
Hmm.
Digital General Electric. So when he joined, the company was the worth was $41 billion, and when he left, it was $410 billion
Oh,
company.
wow.
So mentor and mentee, quickly on that one. So what he did to digitize that one, he realized that thing. I mean, he had the same issue what I just told you about that I used to work on the motor so many
Hmm.
years back. They had a lot of such people. So what he did, he hired fresh graduates from the universities, and then Jack made these guys the mentor, and all the other guys the mentees of that one. So it's
Oh,
more like a
wow.
reverse osmosis. Yeah,
Yes.
because he said that these guys know the technology, and then they will train them. So that's how he converted a $41 billion company to a $410 billion. So so that was the point about the mentor and mentee. So mentee could be your junior, it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you're learning from him or her, I mean, go for it. That's one of the things what I have learned from this one. And even believe it or not, I'm also enrolled in a trading course. I might be doing the trading in New York Stock Exchange tomorrow. You may heard that one. So my mentors are half of my age, and they are guiding me how to
Wow.
do the
Yes,
things.
to do the learn and unlearn process and
Here you
relearn.
go. Learn
Yes,
and
yeah, to
unlearn
stay
and then relearn.
relevant.
Yes, that's the magic mantra on that one.
Yeah, so that's a great point. You know, it doesn't matter the age gap or difference. You could have a mentor no matter the age. And we actually just got one more question in the chat. So, what would you tell your 1999 student self um, on graduation day, knowing what you know now? Is there anything maybe you would have done differently if you had to relive it?
If let me put it this way, I mean, if I there are to give me the opportunity, or if I get the opportunity to go back to the school, essentially, that's what your question is. If I retranslate it, is that
Yes, if
make
you
sense?
had to relive
So
attending going, is there anything, you may
yes.
have done differently now?
So let me put it this way, that I told you earlier in this discussion that I had the blast, I had the time of my life. But what I did, I was engaged in so many activities, so many distractions, I should say, multitasking. This time I would just focus on the Cal State. That's it. And enjoy the each and every moment of that one. So that's the advice for the guys and girls who are still in the campus. Enjoy the moment.
Go to the movies.
Go to the movies. There you go.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, all about the experience, making those connections while you are there is also
Yes.
impactful.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Mudassir. I think we have hit all of the questions that we received. So thank you so much for joining us today. Once again, this recording will be posted on our alumni website, and we'll make sure to share the link with those that attended and with Mudassir. So if you guys want to connect, if you have one more final points to Mudassir, please feel free.
Yes, let me just make one final point. I didn't want to steal your thunder, but I was
Totally
scared
fine.
that you might. So one last point actually in that context is that uh, uh, there's a movie from Jennifer Lawrence by the name Passengers. And there is a
Mhm.
one very interesting statement from that one. If you live an ordinary life, all you will have is ordinary stories. So live an adventurous, wonderful life. That's the last thing I wanted to say.
Oh, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that note.
Have a
And
good
with
one. Thank
with
you, everyone.
that, please make sure to follow Cal State Long Beach alumni and Mudassir on LinkedIn. Thank you and go Beach.
Go Beach. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.